Hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Thank you for joining me once again. I've been wondering, is there a click in landscape photography? And by that I don't mean the moment where you press the shutter button and it makes a noise and all the ducks and the birds on the pond decide to fly away, leaving ripples through your image in the water. I don't mean that particular click. I mean the click that involves some of the more established, well-known photographers being the people who seem to get all the credit for the work that they do, and then some of us other guys, we just don't seem to get very much credit at all. And I wonder if that really is the case. Maybe I'm just kind of reading too much into it or whatever, but it just seems to me like there is a bit of a click that allows some people to continue making great work and getting recognition for it, and the rest of us just don't get anywhere. I'll talk a little bit more about that during the vlog, but in the meantime, while I'm out, I decided I was going to take a few photos, and I've just spotted an interesting composition here, so let me tell you all about that one. A few months ago I was walking along this path just behind me that you can see all lit up by the sunlight there, and as I walked past I noticed there's this little cutting just off the path, and there's a tree just here, this one here, which I quite like the look of, with the branch coming over the top, and then there's another tree behind it, and then in the background you can see a bit more of a cutting with the sunlight on it just there, and there's a little tree at the back of that cutting as well, which is interesting, and all of that kind of leads your eye through the image. And I thought at the time it looked quite good, but like I say, that was a couple of months ago when I was walking past here last, and there were less leaves on the trees, less greenery, less foliage all around, and it looked a bit empty, a little bit kind of lonely. So instead of taking the shot then, I decided I was going to come back at some point during the summer and get it. Well, here we are now in the summer, and as you can see, plenty of greenery all around. And that looks a damn sight better with the greenery and the light that's falling on the trees. So I've taken that shot now anyway. I hope you like it. I'm going to move on and I'll talk more about the click in landscape photography in just a moment. The best thing I think about landscape photography is the people that you meet while you're out and about taking photos. I've just stopped here to take a photo of this tree behind me, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. But as I stopped, I put my bag down to start setting up the camera, and about 100 yards away from me, along this path here, there was a lady walking up, and she could obviously see that I was doing something. When she got to me, she said to me, I thought it was a dog lying down. She meant obviously my camera bag lying on the floor, and she started chatting to me and wanted to know what I was doing, and she said, that's good, I like people who are taking photos and so on, and she said, but I thought you got a dog there, and I was going to start singing to you One Man and His Dog. And as she said it, she started singing One Man and His Dog, gave me a verse of that song just for me, which was quite interesting. But yeah, this tree behind me, look at the shape of it and the gnarliness and the different way all those branches go there. That's perfect. It's obviously quite low down where all that's happening, all the good stuff is going on. So I've set up my tripod, and if you've seen my video all about my tripod that I'm carrying, I'm still carrying the same tripod now a few months on, and you'll know that I was talking about the 3 or 4 different leg sections. It's got 4, I think. Well, I've only extended 2 leg sections on my tripod, so I've kept very low to the ground to get a decent image of this tree here. It was just really the base of it, the bottom 4 or 5 feet of the tree. But also there's a lot of stuff going on around it, and the area to capture the image is quite a small area. So to make sure I got a decent shot of it, I've had to change my lens to my 50mm lens, and I've shot with a 1.8 aperture, so that I can get very, very shallow depth of field. Got a dog next to me now, I don't know where that's come from. Yeah, so I can get a very shallow depth of field, and just focus solely on the tree itself. I've only walked about 300 yards from my last spot, which was up this path along here, and as I've walked along the path I've come across these couple of trees here. There's another one just behind them as well. I don't know how well you can see that. Just behind those two trees there's a third one. I've tried to capture a shot of the two trees and the tree behind them kind of right slap bang in the middle of those two trees. It looks quite interesting as a portrait orientation shot, because as I set up I didn't think that the landscape shot was any good. I think there was too much of this path, this side of it, and a little bit of the green grass and the rough just the other side of it. So I wanted to avoid that, so I decided to go for a portrait orientation instead, because these trees are fairly tall and slim as well, so that made a big difference. But yeah, I hope you like this image. When I talk about the click within landscape photography, I'm not really talking about individual photographers themselves. I don't really want to start naming names and try to shame people, because I don't think that's very fair on them, to be quite honest with you. They're the people who are just going out to make and produce their own content and create some nice photos, and in some respects I'm inspired by them myself. I like the work that they produce. I like to see what they've done, and it wouldn't be fair of me to start slating them just because somebody else has decided that they are the kind of people that should be in this clique. It tends to be the people who have kind of created the clique themselves who are the people that I'm talking about, really. They have created a situation where they see the photographs of certain other people and they decide that they are the best photographs and that they are the best photographers, and the rest of us then don't get a look in, pretty much. I want to try and give you an example of exactly that in just a moment. Last year I entered the Landscape Photographer of the Year competition. I wanted to just kind of test the water to see if my work has any merit within landscape photography. I believe it does, because I've been working now for just over 10 years creating photos, and getting out and about in the landscape and trying to capture some great images. It's a process that I really enjoy doing, but it seems that the work that I am doing doesn't get the same credit and the same recognition as the work of other photographers within the clique. Now, the Landscape Photographer of the Year competition is presided over by a group of about 8 to 10 judges, maybe 1 or 2 more than that, but they are all very well established photographers within the industry themselves, and they will look at all of the entries and make a decision about which of those photos they prefer, and then at the end of that judging process all of those photos get printed and published within the Landscape Photography of the Year book, which is published at the end of there every year. And last year, when I decided to buy the book at the end of the year, because I do every year, I was a bit put out by what I saw. As I made my way through the book and started looking at the images, purely for inspiration more than anything else, the one thing I discovered was I was seeing the same names of photographers who've created these images all the way through the book. Now, there were obviously a few photographers who only appeared once, some who might not even be that well established, but quite a few of the photographers' names who I saw are people who I know about, people who are very well established within the industry, and it seemed like the establishment was judging and deciding that the establishment were the best images, and I just wonder if it's possible at all for me to kind of break into that little clique that there obviously is. I could be wrong, obviously I could be talking through my arse. There may not be a clique, but it's just something that I think there possibly is there. So if you think there is a bit of a clique as well within landscape photography, please let me know within the comments section below. Now, as you can see, there's a tree behind me. I quite like this tree because of the crack right up the middle of it. So I've stopped here to take a couple of shots of it. I've taken one with the 17 to 40mm lens, and I've shot at 35mm, but I'm not sure how that works. I quite like the path either side of the tree, which kind of draws you into it. But I've also taken a shot of that with the 50mm, which is just the tree all on its own, and then a little further back in the image there's this bit of path here running away from the tree behind it. Like I say, I'm not sure which I prefer, so I'll show you both images now. But in the meantime, if you've enjoyed my little rant and ramble about the clique of landscape photography, then please remember to like and subscribe, comment and share, tell me what you think, and let other people see the video, and all of that helps me, and maybe we can drag me kicking and screaming into that clique that I talk about. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.